Hello, welcome to my TikTok channel, Goodman's Goodwatches. Tonight, unfortunately, we do have Goodman's Bad Watches, though, because we're going to be talking about the 2021 film directed by Sia called Music, starring the aloistic actress Maddie Ziegler at age 14, who was forced into playing a role where she felt that she was depicting an offensive stereotype of a disabled person. So that should really prime you for what I'm about to describe. So the reason why I chose this is because I remember hearing a lot of disabled voices at the time talking about how gross the movie was and seeing clips of the movie, and I was like, oh, how was this even allowed to be made? So basically what the movie starts off with Ziegler, whose name is Music, in the movie. She's this pretty much nonverbal, aside from like a few words, autistic girl. She wears headphones. She like makes faces like she's like she is sort of depicted as like the typical, I know this is not a this is an offensive term, but she is sort of depicted as the typical like spaz, you know, like and she's like she's not like aware of her surroundings. She's like looking around, and it's a very like overly dramatized portrayal of her. So it starts off with her and her grandmother, who seems like a loving, you know, like caretaker. They live in like a lower income community, I believe, in LA. And it's really heartbreaking because at the beginning of the movie, Music's like grandmother has like a stroke, and like Music isn't able to like vocalize that you know, her grandma's in trouble. It was only because one of the many like neighbors who take care of her like came in and were checking on Music and like saw her grandmother. So then enters Music's half-sister, who is played by Kate Hudson. Her name is Zoo. She's like barely sober, drug addict, and throughout the movie she's selling drugs, and she does not have a clue how to take care of Music. And the person who mainly helps her is this Ghanaian guy named Ibo, and Ibo is sort of becomes like her love interest throughout the movie. And like, again, like there's not a huge focus on like Music herself. Ibo sort of like follows the like the magical Negro stereotype, because he's like imparting wisdom. That's, by the way, a lot of it not true, and I'll get into that. Like, you know, about telling Kate Hudson like how she's supposed to take care of Music. So some of the so basically like throughout the movie, you know, she's trying to like figure out how to like calm Music down, like when she's it's like a lot of that, like calming Music down like when she's in distress. And they advocate for an actually fatal form of restraint, which many autistic people have died from it. It's called the prone restraint. And like Ebo is like, I'm crushing her with my love, and it's like a really bizarre, it's very bizarre. He's like putting all of his weight on her, and I know that, like, I know personally, like restraints are not encouraged, like, in the autistic community, like, and like particularly that one, when it is done, it's only done like when the person is like really like a danger to themselves or others type situation, which this girl was never in a situation really like that, so there was no reason for her to be restrained. Also throughout the movie, it's important to know that I really feel like this was like a cash grab for Sia, who, I don't know if you're familiar with her music, but she's the lady with the weird bangs and that cover her face, and at one point she does make a cameo in the movie, which just doesn't even make any sense. But basically Sia's Sia's music is used throughout this movie, and the only times when like music actually gets like a voice throughout the movie is when Sia is Sia's using all these like insane like dance sequences, dream sequences, and Sia and music is still like making, you know, these over dramatized expressions, and quite often she's wearing braids that are like only black people would wear, I think, or supposed to wear, like protective styles, which is also bizarre. And it's just very telling that even in these like small moments where music is like speaking, she's still like not, there are no words. She's still not given like any, like, she's still not given a voice, even though it's constantly stressed throughout the movie that, oh, she can understand you, she can understand you, she just thinks in a different way. But she's really like infantilized a ton throughout the movie, and even in her like thought sequences, and they do like weird interpretive dances that with like a lot of like bright colors that are both like offensive to autistic people and also like unwatchable because of how overstimulating they are. At the end, you know, Zoo is like trying to get her life together, and that's the Kate Hudson character. Zoo's trying to get her life together, and like was thinking about putting music inside an institution, and like decides better of it only because music is like, please don't go. And at the end, and then right after that, she goes to this wedding that Ebo invited her to, like his family's wedding, and music like performs with them, which is like, oh my god, she can speak. That's the only time that Zoo is proud of her and is not saying, oh, I want to take her to the person pound, you know, like there's a ton of that. Okay, finally getting into the actual analysis. The themes of disability that are represented in the product, I would say the biggest for me is disability as a burden. And I'd say like the medical model is utilized a ton. This movie was done in collaboration with Autism Speaks, actually, which is obviously a very unreputable source that doesn't actually seek to help autistic people and empower them, but actually sees them, you know, as children that need to be cured. What is this, and I would also say that, like, as I said, like, there's a lot of problems with not only the themes, but like there's literally dangerous implications of this movie. So the most obvious one being the restraint that is encouraged in the movie, and has been, you know, disability activists have said for years that this is a bad idea. So I would say like that is also like kind of like shows how the movie itself is like a civil rights, human rights issue. And I would say like the things that I found, like some main quotes that stuck out to me, that were very important, from the course readings. I would say sorry. In chapter 1 of the Baglieri text, ableism is in a pervasive system of discrimination, and I feel like that's like shown here through every single like I just feel like that, like I feel like even the way that Kate Hudson's character talks about this is like shows like not like like it's so it's the movie is so like anachronistic, in the like I wanted to believe that, I forgot how recently this movie was made. I wanted to believe it was made in like the early 2000s at least or something. But I think the quote that really speaks, is really important, is this forced acceptance of second-class citizenship has stripped us as disabled people of our pride and dignity. This is not the way we, as Americans, should have to live our lives. And that's the Judith Newman quote from 1988. And I feel like it's the fact that music is just like a plot device, that's used as like to help her sister grow, like in this movie, and like literally like while there's so many times in the movie where she's just going, I don't even want to interpret it, but like she's just, you know, staring off and like giggling to herself, like while her sister is like, you know, talking to this, you know, guy and, you know, flirting with him. It's so gross. It's like literally treating her like a dog. And then from the Blatt and Kaplan reading, from the Christmas in Purgatory reading, if one thinks that defective children are almost beyond help, one acts towards them in ways that confirm one's assumptions. And that's another thing that's like really gross that's depicted in the movie. In fact, Ebo has like a quote that's like, "She can't change," and that's like, obviously that's so problematic in that it's this belief that music is incapable of growing, and you know, incapable of growing and incapable of having any sort of agency. She's just like something to be taken care of. And lastly, from chapter 3 of the Baglieri text, thus feeble-minded became a catch-all term for nondescript mental deficiencies for which poverty, crime, unemployment, immorality, vagrancy were evident, and that's from page 48. And then, due to societal norms and pressures, families would either hide or send individuals to institutions, which we saw was mentioned several times throughout the movie until, you know, she has this, you know, she sees the light, sort of, Kate Hudson's character. But I want, in terms of the first quote, music is seen as this, you know, deficient character who can't change, and we never get to really hear her voice outside of literally three words from her AAC machine, which is not a real AAC machine, which is I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm scared. That's not a comprehensive AAC machine, and it's a purposeful decision on the creators of the movie to silence disabled people. And I think even as I said, there are, in addition to the actual movie itself and how harmful the movie itself is, the backlash and the creator's response to the backlash, I think, is also very telling. I can't even go into like all the ways that Sia responded, but one of the things, when the main criticism obviously is that Ziegler, who plays music, is not actually autistic herself, and when questioned about it, Sia was like, well, I tried to work with an autistic actress, but I found it very unpleasant. Those were, I'm paraphrasing, but she did use the word unpleasant. So yes, that's my negative stars review of Sia's 2021 movie Music. I'm hoping that in 2025 we will, you know, get better representation going forward, and that we don't utilize harmful models to talk about people with disabilities. Thank you.